sit in and get with you, baby, tonight. I don't wanna love, I don't wanna fight. I don't wanna have to tell you all the things I know. I don't wanna stay, but I don't wanna go. I don't wanna be the lover in your arms. I don't wanna be one to keep you from home. I don't wanna be the crooked person in your heart. I don't wanna start, but I don't wanna start. Part-time lover, how we suffer now. I don't wanna waste no more of your precious time. I don't wanna say that everything will be fine. I don't wanna feel your tears on my skin. I'm a coward, baby, don't let me in. Part-time lover, how we suffer now. So I don't wanna sit in and get with you, baby, tonight. I don't wanna love, I don't wanna fight. I don't wanna have to tell you all the things I know. I don't wanna stay, but I don't wanna go. I am a poor wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of war. There is no sickness, toil nor danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to see my mother. I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going us all. I'm going out to see my brother. He said he'd meet me when I come. hush, little darling, don't say a word. I'm gonna buy you a mockingbird. Say, darling, say. And if that mockingbird don't sing, I'm gonna buy you a diamond ring. Yes, and I know that diamond ring. Yes, I know that diamond ring is gonna shine. Darling, if you'll marry me, I'll buy you a house with a big oak tree. Say, darling, say, we'll live in the house with the big oak tree. 3 little babies on your knee. Yes, and I know that diamond ring. Yes, I know that diamond ring is gonna shine. So hush, little darling, don't say a word. I'm gonna buy you a mockingbird.
Good day, this is Thumbs United. We're streaming more color grading. We have 5 more episodes left to do the color grading for. This is kind of the biggest, one of the bigger ones we have to color grade. Everything in blue is a video, so all the colors in that have to be corrected. And then the photographs, they're already color corrected, so we don't have to worry about them. And then most of the video, well, especially around the photographs and everything, we have to try to get the colors to look the same, kind of wiggle them into the same color space and everything. But because there's not that many photos, we don't have to do it with every video. So that's the plan for tonight. We're planning to get through 5 episodes, which should be easier because I think this is the last episode with a ton of video. I think all the other ones are the opposite. It's a ton of photographs, and we don't have to worry about that because I already color graded the photographs in Lightroom. So let's get to work. So the first thing we're going to do is we're gonna group the videos by similar color, brightness, and contrast. And so once we group them, we add the adjustment layer right here, and we're gonna make all the changes to color on the adjustment layer. So all these are similar to that point. So we do it this way because it will we only have to edit this adjustment layer instead of having to do the exact same edit trying to make it look exactly the same for these 4 clips. So it saves us time and energy, and because it saves us time and energy, it will speed up the process, and it reduces the likelihood of mistakes. So I've been doing a lot of web developing stuff offline. I found out a way that like it even further it's just I learned a couple of new shortcuts and tricks that make it even faster to do a large amount of work, and so I'm really happy with that. And I was working on that from I guess 6 to 8, and then at 8 we had to move some furniture around, and it was like heavy furniture, and so I did that for about an hour and a half, and then I had to carry water to the different rooms and everything, and it was very manually intensive task. So I'm not sore, thank goodness, but I am. It was I don't know what it was. It wasn't a bad time. And actually, I thought it would take a lot longer moving everything around, but it was kind of quick. The hard part was we had to move this wardrobe, and it's made out of wood and it's really heavy, and it's taller than me, so I'm worried, oh no, it's gonna fall on me and then I get squished, and that's it. 2-dimensional, and I would be 2-dimensional. But it worked out okay. It was really difficult to move, but the hard part is it's a wooden floor, and so we're having a carpenter come, and they're gonna, rip up the wooden floor, but they're gonna try to keep the different pieces of wood intact, because pretty much there's no way they can match the wood to be the same color. So they're gonna take out the floorboards and then try to put it back in later. And so we had to move what took so long was we had to find where each of the floorboards ended. So we kept moving the wardrobe back further and further, and we're like, this, it's just all of the other, I don't know what you call them, strips of wood, planks, they finished like a foot closer to the wall, which is where they were cutting, but there was this one plank that just kept going and going, and we're like, it couldn't be this long, because we'd moved the wardrobe. we'd move the wardrobe and it, still wouldn't find the end. So we finally found it. So that was good. And then I was cooking nachos. Not like nachos with that Doritos or whatever, Tostitos nacho cheese. They're like, this was real nachos. It was Bonitos chip, which are chips that are actually made out of beans. And I can't eat corn, so that's why I use those chips. They're corn-free and gluten-free. And then I layered beans on top of the bean chips. They taste just like tortilla chips. So, and I always joke when I have it that I'm eating beans with beans. But so it's a layer of beans on top of the chips, and then just Mexican cheese, the shredded Mexican cheese. Like you can do Monterey Jack. Monterey Jack is really good. And there are other cheeses you can do, but we had the Mexican cheese, so that's what I had for lunch. I ate lunch at like 9:30 p.m. and like I'm still gonna have to eat dinner. That's just one of those days where it's like I'm hungry. So we are going to change our curves, and then we're going to make sure that this looks good for all the images, which it does. And then this was taken with a GoPro and shooting in Pro Tune, which means the white balance was not set. And it just allows me to go through and edit the white balance. This allows me to go back and edit the white balance better before the image is compressed. And so it's a way that the GoPro allows you to get even more higher bit rates, and it's easier to edit and color grade. I mean, it's technically not easier to edit because it gives you an extra step you have to do, but it does make it easier to make great images. So you have to work a little harder. But it's worth it. So this is where we're going to do a lot of heavier curves. Because we're shooting through the window. And I thought this project would take a long time to do, but since so much of the footage is similar, it's gonna be really easy. And we had the white balance. So what I'm doing with this curve is I'm clipping it, so everything past a certain darkness is automatically black, but then I'm also raising everything that's dark and making it brighter. So it's kind of like paradoxical a little bit, but it's a way to add more of more range in the, I mean technically in the darks, but just a wider color range. So I'm going to do the same thing for this one, but not as much. And so I alternate between, depending on what the video is, on whether I do this kind of way to get the higher range, or if I try to increase the contrast. Actually, I'm going to bring that down a bit. Okay, so we have this huge chunk, and we're almost done. Almost done. So this is the first of seeing this. This one's going to be a little bit difficult to do because we're doing it over so many clips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to again do the clipping. And see, this looks better with all the clips. Now the white balance. Just kind of spiraling in on what the best white balance is, and that's it. Forgot to add an adjustment layer here. That's why we go through it relatively slowly. You know what? I'm gonna cheat. And we're gonna duplicate this last one. I'm gonna save. And I think this is the last strip we have to do. Oh no, there's two more after this. So the image is really red. So I normally like the image to be warmer. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the white balance. Because it was pretty good. think that's better. I think. So I found out that I should be able to stream again, like I've been streaming over the weekend, twice tomorrow. It's supposed to rain, which means I don't have to work outside. And then the people that are doing construction, they're not coming tomorrow. They were scheduled for tomorrow, but they're going to come Tuesday, which is fine because all I have to do Tuesday is the Mass Effect Let's Play. That happens later, they'll be gone by the time I have to do that. So tomorrow I'm doing 2 creative streams. I am doing it sometime between 2 and 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and then again sometime between 9 and 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so this is to fix this. Okay, so not a lot of videos to edit here, but we are going to have to make kind of a lot of adjustment layers because they're so spread out. So even though there's less videos, this might take longer than the last one to edit. Because all the videos are spread out. It's taking a long time to do this, just adding the adjustment layers. We're only at 6 minutes and 30 seconds into the episode. That's my dog who just came down the steps. She likes to come to the basement because it's cooler down here. She likes to lay on the tile. And sometimes she just comes to visit me or tell me that it's time to let her out to go to the restroom. So less videos, but way more adjustments that need to be made. Okay. So let's look at this photo and this. So the photo is kind of warmish. And it's actually kind of cool. So we're going to it's like somewhere in between warm and cool. And the problem is the photos are taken in a different location, but at sunset, and then the video is taken at high noon. So it's going to be difficult to get them to look similar. So the thing I'm going to be working on the most is figuring out the white balance. The curves I don't have to worry about so much. And now we're starting to lie more. I'm going to try to make it look more day for night. So I'm trying to make the videos look more like sunset and not midday. I'm trying to make them more warmer in color temperature. We're like a third of the way done. Oh, my computer, I don't know if I mentioned this, but it just randomly shut down while I was working. I was working on web development stuff. And luckily I had finished working. I was in between steps, so everything was saved, but it just, boom, turned off. Like the screens went black. There was no sound or anything, just off. And I was like, that's weird. Like I thought maybe the cable was broken or something. Like it wiggled through. And anyway, so no, it hard restarted. It went to the BIOS and then booted up from there. I was like, seriously? So I was gonna stream at like 10 on the dot, and I was setting everything up for that, but then it took a while to reboot. I used to have a solid state hard drive, but I put that in my laptop, and now I just use a mechanical hard drive, which is fine, but Windows takes so long to load from a mechanical hard drive. It's just, I have to wait 12 to 15 minutes while Windows tries to, like, I don't know what it's loading. It's trying to load the entire world all at once, because like the computer's unusable for the first 12 or 15 minutes, and then it just starts to idle, and running applications and everything is fast. It's just that initial boot is slow. So that's why I started around 10:30. Due to technical difficulties. Okay, we're like 2/3 done. So what I did while I was waiting for it to boot, I just drove around in GTA 5. I mean, like, I don't actually, like, I've beaten the game. I didn't 100% it. I got up to 70%, but, and this is my second playthrough. The first time I played through, I got up to like 85% everything. Oh, and the other thing I did, which probably is stupid, but I went to eBay. Like, nothing ever good happens when you start the phrase with I went to eBay. But I went to eBay on the hunt for like a either used projector or a really cheap projector, and I found one that was like so inexpensive. It was like $30. I was like, this can't possibly work, but it had good reviews, and I was like, huh. But the resolution was too low. And when I tell you the resolution of the projector that I ended up getting, you're gonna laugh at me. But what got me was the price. Like, I'm gonna save up and get a real projector that does a minimum of 1080p. I have to wait for the price of the 4K ones to come down, because they're still in like the thousands range. But once the 4K projectors start to come down, then the 1080p projectors will get even cheaper. But no, this projector has a resolution of 800 by 480. Like, that is like standard definition. Exactly standard definition. And so you might be wondering, why would I pay for that? And so the reason is that I have all this equipment specific for projectors with 3D technology. And so if I got a projector that didn't support 3D with the active shutters, there's like, it's over like $250 worth of equipment that's just useless. And so I kind of got this as like a stepping stone where it does support 3D, which is a big deal for me. And the other reason why I really got this projector, it was $80 with shipping and handling, and I bought the warranty, a 5-year warranty. I wish I did that with my first projector. So I bought the warranty, and there was something else. Oh, so the reason why I got it was so that I can not just watch movies in my room, because that's where my projector screen is, but I also want to start showing off like the films and everything to my grandmother, and we can watch videos like we used to. The problem is that our basement, which flooded over winter when the pipes broke, the space where our TV is still, you can't go in there. It's pretty bad, and the only reason why I'm working in the basement is because I'm at the complete other end, and it's like fine over here. There's no carpet or anything. But so kind of like the time we used to relax together and watch TV, we haven't had. So like most of the time we're spending with my grandma outside, or she's doing her word search. But now it's like one more thing we can do, like together. And she always likes watching nature documentaries, so we can do that again. So that's the real reason why I got it, was mainly for my grandmother, so we could spend even more time. and keep her kind of active. I know that's like an oxymoron, staying active while watching TV, but I just mean like mentally active. And so hopefully that means she'll be napping less. She's napping like not too much, but it's a little worrying. She takes like a nap 2 or 3 times, 1 or twice a day. But then if we go anywhere in the car, she's just out asleep. And so we're, it's funny because I'm trying to get my sleep schedule back to normal, but we're also trying to get her sleep schedule back to normal. She does not sleep through the night. And that's what happens when you get older, but 2, when you have dementia. It's just your ability to sleep goes so far down. And like the only thing you're able to do is really take cat naps. And like really short ones. And again, I'm trying to make these more night for day, no, day for night photographs. I mean videos. So I'm trying to make it look like it's more closer to nighttime than it actually is. And so what I'm actually trying to do is make midday look like afternoon sunset, which is why I'm making everything darker. So for this one, and then more warm colors, more red, more yellows. Okay, we're done. Save this real quick and move to the next one. Which I don't remember. Yep. So we have 3 more to do. This next one is not too dense. I mean, you can see everything that's purple and green, that's a photograph. All the blue is video. There's not too many videos to do in here, and they're not as spread out as the other one, which what took forever. But I'm gonna take a short break. I have to go get some water, and then I'll be right back. took a little longer than I thought. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through and add the adjustment layers as needed. I mean, pretty much everything needs it, but all the videos need it, but how many adjustment layers is the question. So this is 35mm Canon camera. So that's going to be wildly different than that first clip. This is the GoPro, and this is Canon, and it's like totally different color space. And one, I'm actually able to set the settings for like exposure and aperture and everything. This is a Canon video too. In fact, I think most of the videos for this project are Canon videos. They're only in HD, they're not in 4K. And in general, I don't take that many Canon videos. I should, and every time I take a video and look at it, once I get home, it's just like, oh my goodness, the video quality is so high. Like I use the Canon for like video production stuff, so like plays or concerts, like for high schools and stuff. Like I'll use it then. But for whatever reason, when I'm traveling, I don't really take many videos with it. I usually do, again, the GoPro or my JVC camera. And part of it is because, like, with the photo, you take the photo, 3 seconds, you're done. And then you can take, the video or photo with another camera, which is kind of what I do. I take a photo with the Canon, and then if it's something that's good for 3D, I'll take a 3D picture instead of a 3D video. And so I'm kind of transitioning a little bit away from doing video while I travel, just because it takes so long, and like I'm trying to stay with the group. And so if I'm taking, like, what's really nice is like a 15 to 20 second video. But if you're doing that at like every block, you'd be out there forever. So if I was traveling by myself and it was just like, I have all night, I have 8 hours to record, then yeah, I do more video. But that's kind of why I do more photographs. It's just easier to get a wider variety and coverage, which is like multiple shots in the same area but exploring like different angles. So, and the more coverage you get, the more coherent your video is, because it gets the viewer kind of more comfortable in the area, instead of doing like jarring scene changes. And that's kind of what I'm doing for this project. And when there's not a lot of coverage, then I fake it and bring locations together that just look similar. They're not really the same place. save. I'm kind of keeping an eyeball out for a good camera that's 35 millimeters that also does 4K. And so half of me just kind of wants to jump ship from Canon and go with the Sony, the AR2 or the AR3. I think the AR3 is what's out now. I'd love to get that 50 megapixel one, and it does 4K. It does 4K at 30 frames, 24 frames, and then it does HD I think at 120 frames. But I've seen mixed reviews. The people who love Sony cameras really love it, but there are some like technical limitations based on the mount and the lens mount that kind of had me questioning it. And so the reviews, it's not really reviews, but it's kind of the areas for concern is actually from lens manufacturers, that they're having a really hard time making wide angle lenses for the AR2 because of the way the sensor is set up. It's a shorter distance from the lens to the sensor, but then on top of that the sensor actually moves for the image stabilization, so it kind of to remove vibrations and everything. And so it's really difficult for them to make a wide angle lens with a low aperture that can account for the movement and everything. So that's kind of like, oh, that's good to know. So it's not really a good camera if you do a lot of wide angle work, which I don't really do. My favorite lens for 35mm is my 28 to 135 lens, and it's a zoom lens. And then my favorite prime lens is an 80mm medium format lens I have. So the math is like, so that's really like 100 and that's 100 and it's like 160 millimeters on a 35mm camera. I almost didn't see this was 2 clips that are pretty different in exposure and everything. So we're almost done with this first step. I'm gonna have a larger batch of videos. starting to see some of the same videos. And it's funny because it's like, didn't we work on this? It's like, yeah, I just finished the animation for this project last night. So I'm getting like deja vu where it's like, I thought I already worked on this, but nope. We're doing something completely different, working on color grading and not animation. So we're almost done. For real this time. Okay. Thought there was more. It's starting to get really into the adjustment layer. Now we're gonna go through and change all the colorings and everything. And because it's night photography, there's not a lot we can do. So the majority of it is just gonna be kind of making things darker. And I know that sounds funny, but when you're taking photos at night, especially with GoPros or cameras on auto setting, they try to make everything brighter, even though that's not what it's really like. So we're going to go back and essentially add in darkness. And you can see this one's better exposed because, again, it was shot on the Canon. So all of the Canon ones will be a little bit easier to work with. said, this is even though there's more videos, we actually have less options for color grading, so that makes it, you know, kind of faster. But it's kind of by default, winner by default. And so we're doing pretty well. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to finish this and finish it in time. Again, I'm trying to get to bed earlier, so I want to be done before 1 in the morning. After all this work, we're only into the 7-minute mark, and most of that work was due to I'm just setting up the adjustment layers and everything. So there's too many hues of blue. Oh, and the other thing that's going to be nice, I mean, this projector with the warranty and shipping, it was $80. And there were like okay reviews. I mean, like, all the reviews were really great, but it was just like, how much do these people know about projectors? So hopefully it's awesome. That's so funny because like, I remember when a projector of this resolution used to cost like $600 to $700. So it's so funny that it's only $80. But it's gonna be nice because then what I can do is, instead of sitting in the basement in a chair, I can actually see what it's like, you know, sitting in front of a TV or on a couch, watching the New York project and everything, the demos. And that'll just make sitting through it easier. And because there's a big difference between watching a TV show at a desk versus sitting on the couch. And they call that the lean back experience, or the lean in experience, like computer games on the computer, and like working on Word documents and sometimes YouTube videos. They're more lean experiences where you're leaning into the monitor. You're prepared to spend 10 or 15 minutes on a video, but you don't really want to sit there for like an hour and a half. You get more fatigued trying to watch something longer in a upright chair. And so then the lean back experience, or experiences like sitting on the couch or going to the movie theaters, you're just more relaxed. You're more in a state of, you're prepared to sit for 3 or 4 hours at a time. That's kind of where binge watching gets territory gets into. I would say like binge watching it's beyond a lean in experience. It's like a laid back experience where you're like sitting in bed and you have your laptop on and you're watching Netflix or other streaming services, or you're very relaxed on your couch. So that's kind of a little things you have to kind of be aware of when you're doing videos. Like, are you making a video that's a lean in experience or a lean back? And so usually anything that's over 15 minutes should be considered a lean back experience, and anything shorter than like 10 minutes is it's a quick and fast experience. That's kind of why I'm trying to get all the episodes to be 20 minutes, because I do want it to be a lean back experience, something you can watch on your TV mainly, and things like that. Okay, so I don't know what I'm doing with this one. I'm talking so much. I have to get back to work. Okay, so I'm going to try to make it warmer. But not so green. So we're like halfway through the video, but we have a lot more to color grade on the second half. So from a work perspective, it's not really the halfway point. And again, this is the GoPro, so I have to make the image darker, because it's trying to overcompensate. these lights don't help. They're like beyond yellow. I'm like, I'm sure you know when you're walking around in the street at night and you get like these huge tungsten lights, which have a really warm color temperature. And why I'm going so slow on this one. I am starting to get a little tired. But that's no excuse. I think the easier part is coming up. I don't know why I keep thinking we're so close to the end. It's all lies. Lies. And this one I'm trying to make it more warmer because everything in this area is the photographs and the video going the other way is almost too warm. And then you can see here the image is very warm, and trying to get it to be more normal, but I don't have a lot of options. And at a certain point it starts to look unrealistic, which is okay. I like surreal, but not when it doesn't fit in the rest of the project. Like, if that's what you're going for, that's fine. Okay, now we're finally getting close to the end. This looks like it's a 30-minute episode, which is no excuse, but I think this one is a little bit more surreal and colorful, and I'm okay with that because it goes nice with this one with its magenta lens flare. So we're actually trying to get this to be a little bit more kind of blue. And this is the last one. It's going to be complicated because it's so many video clips that it's going to be difficult to find common ground for all of them. But I think we did it. Okay, so that was kind of a larger project. Almost at the 2-hour mark. I'm trying to keep the stream sometime between a minimum of 2 hours to 3 or 4 hours. So we're going to the next one. We have 2 more left. This next one there's not a lot of. I know there's not a lot of video. We were just doing it last night, and there's not a lot of work we have to do with this one. So we're just going to go through and group everything with the adjustment layer. And I'm being a little finicky. And really I could have just done the same adjustment layer for like all of these. But I want a little bit more precision. And like I'm willing to do a lot of color grading on this one because there's not, even if I had to color grade each video, it's still less work than that last project we just did. The last project we're going to do, the subway, that's going to be a big one. That's going to be at least 20 or 40 minutes of work. Okay, we're done with the adjustment layers. So as you can see, it wasn't very much. I'm going to save everything real fast and get to color grading. Now I'm doing the kind of the method for a wider range. Yeah, I don't like that. That's kind of... I guess that works. So once I kind of figured it out using the eyedropper tool, it's getting a little bit easier to do the white balance and everything. Whoops, I don't want that. So we're like almost done with this project. With these episodes and this, with all the 4K episodes and the, that's what we're almost done with. We're nowhere close to being done with the New York project. We still have all the VR stuff to edit. And we still have the 3D footage and photos to edit. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. I don't need two curves. So this is pretty much the last thing we have to do. And of course it's a hard one. Okay, we're done. We are done with that one. And I believe it's the last one. Yep. And it's a big one for video. I think. Yeah, it's like 20 minutes of pure video. So this is the subway episode, and this is the last episode we have to color grade, and then the 4K versions, I will submit them to be rendered on the Linux box, and over the next 2 weeks. The problem is the Linux box is busy doing Project Park, so it should be 2 or 3 weeks before it's ready to do the this project. But once it does, it will render, and I'll get the final time. And in addition to that, I checked the animation and everything, make sure there's no glitches. And if I go back, I fix it. And then once I know that, like for example, this episode, once I'm positive it's 18 minutes and 38 seconds, then I go and write the script for it. So I do it a little bit backwards, where I get all the footage and photography ready, and make the episode, and then I write the script for each episode. Most productions work the other way, where you write the script, then you go out and shoot what you want to shoot, and you have your shot list and everything. And that's just not how these projects worked out for me. So I'm gonna take a short break, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And as you can see, it's a lot of video. And different cameras and everything. But this is the last project, so we're gonna plow through it. Whoa! Making mistakes already. I'm getting like really tired, and my legs are hurting. It's because of the weather. It's raining and stuff. That's one of the joys of getting older, and things like that. Like I actually have rheumatoid arthritis, juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, and so my bones hurt a lot. But what helped make a lot of the pain go away was when we figured out I'm allergic to the planet, and so that helped reduce a lot of the inflammation and everything. Not eating what I was allergic to because we didn't know. Like before, when I was younger, like from like 6 to 21, the only allergy I had was I had hay fever, and then something happened in 22 where, and they say it happens sometimes where your allergies will actually switch to something else. And so that's what mine did. My body decided to become allergic to everything on the planet. I mean, just like everything. I can't eat corn, wheat, soy, walnuts, peanuts. And then I'm also allergic to elm tree. Which, who's allergic to elm tree? I am. That's who. So it was a little bit difficult at first, and like you have to read the ingredients to everything you buy, and it's a little bit harder for me because everything I'm allergic to, it's like, oh, you can't eat, gluten or wheat. I'm actually allergic to wheat, and so kind of as a side, I say, gluten. But there are some things you can get that have wheat that also are gluten free. If that makes sense. But so if you can't have gluten, then they're like, here, have some cornbread or corn chips or something. And it's just like, nope, I'm still allergic. So a lot of the stuff that says it's gluten free, it also has ingredients I still can't eat. Am I going back to the achy bones? We're having like a lot of weather. And it was funny because they were saying Michigan is like, oh, we're in a drought, we need water. And like, it's nothing like California's drought. But so I always think it's funny that they say that, because like the trees are all green everywhere, and you'd never know we were in a drought. Which we technically weren't. We were almost in a drought. So I believe this is another 30-minute episode. No, it's 20 minutes. So it's not the longest thing we have to do. And what's helpful is a lot of these clips are so similar in color, and I think we might be able to edit this one faster than the last one, even though the last one had significantly less videos. So we're about halfway done with this process. Now we're starting to mix our stations. You know, I don't know why my computer was restarting. I think it might have had not a power surge, but if enough static electricity builds up, and let's say you have a static charge and you touch your computer, that can cause it to restart. So I think something like that must have happened. Because if it's the power supply, it does like a hard, like a pop, and then it's just instantly off. But there was nothing, no sound like that or anything. So I don't know what it was. It's probably just a static charge. But instead of like it coming from me touching the computer, because I've done that, where I shocked myself on the computer just from static from my clothes, and then the computer instantly shut off. And like they have special wristbands you wear when you repair computers, and so what it does is it grounds you, so you're like the same potential, the same electric potential as the computer you're working on. And they do that because you can damage computer parts if you touch the wrong thing and there's a static shock. Because the motherboard is very sensitive to electricity. And so a static shock, it's low amperage, but it's really high voltage. It's like over 10,000 volts. And that could fry a capacitor that's, not designed to take that many volts. So I don't think I'm going to make my goal and finish before before 1 in the morning. But we're gonna get pretty close to that. It should be another 20 minutes. So I should be like, go to 1:10 in the morning. I'm in Eastern time. Okay, we got all the adjustment layers in, which there are a lot of. But hopefully they are easy edits. Which these are. I'm not really changing too much of the darks because they are all a little underexposed. And this one I'm going to, because it's overexposed. But I do like the yellow feel of that one, so I'm adding back the warmer colors. So this is going really fast, and a lot of that is because it's indoor light. So that's a little easier to edit than, nighttime photography. They're more similar in the color adjustments we have to do. We're already at the 3-minute mark. Do. I'm just trying to make these videos the best they can be. And a lot of these are overexposed because the camera's taking pictures of things that are dark and such, trying to brighten those up by overcompensating. So a lot of this is just bringing the brightness down, because it's okay that it's dark things. We don't have to overcompensate. thumb is beginning to cramp. Been working at the computer too long today. I was gonna do even more web development stuff after this, but it's just too late. For tomorrow, I'm doing the same times as today, so sometime between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. for the afternoon stream, and then for the late night stream sometime between 9 and 11 p.m. If I can, I'll start closer to 9, but to be honest, it's usually around 10:30 or so that my schedule is free. So with the Canon and everything, I'm trying to add back some warmth to the image. But with this GoPro, I'm actually trying to take away the warm image. So we're about halfway through. We're at 9 minutes. It's a 20-minute video. Whoa, getting crazy with the settings. I'm gonna save just so that nothing happens. And then after this, I'm gonna plug in my other hard drive and start rendering some stuff. It's the Create project. I'm gonna have the computer do that overnight, and then and into the afternoon, pretty much right until I'm ready to stream. It's gonna be rendering. So we've done a lot, especially today. I mean, we really started color grading, well, yesterday and today. So this is pretty fast. I mean, we color graded over 5 hours of video footage. So what I have to do is I have to remember that I have to clear out some hard drives. Just get rid of old projects and old versions of renders that I'm no longer using. A lot of things I do test renders for, and then I just forget to delete the test render when I've figured out the settings and everything I was testing. But so I have a lot of that to clear out, and then I'm gonna try to consolidate some hard drives, and hopefully I'll be able to put like a render disk together for the New York project. If not, I'm gonna have to order a new one. But I'm trying to save my money to last me until next month, which isn't a problem. But Okay, we're almost done. I was gonna consolidate hard drives tonight. I mean, not tonight, earlier in the day, but my web development kind of took over. I was talking about earlier that I learned this kind of neat little shortcut, and so I was like doing as much as I possibly could. So there's going to be a lot of new things coming to Photations.com. Okay, 2 more clips. And we're done. And that's it. Okay. So thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be streaming again tomorrow, sometime between 2 and 4 p.m. And then another evening stream sometime between 9 and 11 p.m. And these are both Eastern times. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Bye-bye.